Hello guys, today in this video, we are going to help you to find out the best spotting scopus in market. I made this list based on my personal opinion, and I tried to list them based on their quality, durability, customer review, and more. If you want to see their price and find out more information about them, you can check our links in the description below. Number 6. Zeiss Victory Harpia 9523-70x95. Once you look through Zeiss's Harpia spotter, no other scope will quite satisfy you. The image delivered by the 23-70 power eyepiece is stunning, and the amount of light delivered to the eye through the 95mm objective lens makes even low-light glassing a pleasure. The 2-speed focus control allows you to riff from close-in to far-distant targets with a single revolution, and then feather the focus for precision. However, at 4.5 pounds, this is a beast to pack, which makes it a better choice for a backdeck or base camp optic. And at nearly $4,000, most of us aren't willing to subject the Harpia to the indignities and dings of the field. That's too bad, because it's durable and well-balanced for just about any tripod work. The Harpia 95 has a little sister, the Harpia 85, that's a little more portable and only slightly more affordable. But for hunters who aspire to own the best optics on the planet, this line of Zeiss spotters justifies the significant investment. Number 5. Athlon Aries G2 UHD 20-60x80. There's nothing particularly groundbreaking in this introduction from Athlon, just a sized-up version of its very good 65mm Aries G2 UHD model. Compared with the HD model, which was also submitted to this year's test, the UHD version has much better glass and produces an image that's on par with spotters costing significantly more. That despite an 80mm lens, many of its peers have 85mm objectives. The other differentiation from the Argos HD model, the aluminum alloy chassis of the Aries UHD. The build boosts the durability of this spotter and gives it a stiffer and more sure-footed feel. The UHD, it stands for ultra-high definition, glass also boosts its performance. The Aries G2 placed second in our low-light rankings and turned in very good resolution scores. Testers had some concerns over durability based on how the controls loosened over our testing. And we were a little disappointed in the relatively narrow field of view. On the other hand, the image delivered by the UHD glass was bright and free of flares and distortion, and the balance and heft of the chassis are both satisfyingly substantial. The question for the market, is this spotter twice as good as the Argos HD, and is it worth double the cost? Number 4. Hawk Endurance ED 20-60x68. Weighing a full pound less than its similarly sized peers, the Endurance ED would be a good choice for a backcountry hunter who insists on carrying a larger spotter. This Hawk is classified as a mid-sized unit, with its 68mm objective lens diameter, though it has a magnification range more in keeping with 80 and 85mm scopes. It's a testament to the Hawk spotter that it adequately handles all that magnification. The test team was divided on the merits of the relatively light weight. Half felt it implied a lack of durability. The other half appreciated the Endurance ED's talents for a backcountry spotter. Because our test doesn't intentionally punish submissions until they break, the durability question is necessarily unanswered. We were able to arrive at a consensus on the optical talents of this spotter. The ED glass delivers a bright image that showed only minor color fringing and slight deformity on the very edge of the image at lower powers. We found the usable magnification range extended to about 54 power, which is higher than many of its peers. And we conclude that the price, you should be able to find this retailing for around $650, was fair for the performance. The controls are tight, and we especially like the 2-speed focus and the fingertip sensitivity of the fine focus knob. The eye cups and sunshade move with snappy precision. We did notice a fair amount of slop in the threaded eyepiece adapter and would rather see a bayonet mount rather than the threaded ring. Number 3. Athlon Argos HD 20-60x85. Athlon submitted 2 full-sized spotters for this year's test, but the Argos HD version, as opposed to the Argos G2U HD version, represents the best combination of price and performance. So much so that it won our Great Buy Award as the best bargain spotting scope. We've rarely seen this much glass and optical horsepower for under $400. While this is likely the first spotter that a hunter or shooter may buy, owing to the approachable price, it won't be the last. That's because the glass and controls of the Argos HD are slightly disappointing. You'll notice the images starts to get dark and grainy at about 45 power, and our low-light test confirmed that, compared with its UHD brother, the Argos HD will wink out several minutes before its peers. Many consumers are understandably confused about the designations that optics companies use to describe the quality of glass in their products, but the Athlon spotters are useful to differentiate between HD and UHD glass. The first instance stands for high definition, while the second is ultra high definition. There's still no rigor around those terms, but the HD model was measurably darker and muddier than the UHD model. Definitions aside, if you're in the market for a full-sized spotter and have limited funds, consider the Argos HD. You'll want to ensure that the warranty is up to snuff, but our expectation is that this capable spotter will give you years of adequate service. Number 2. Hawk NatureTrek 9-27x56. We've seen this design before, most recently from Celestron, with its similarly sized hummingbird. There's limited utility for a spotting scope with an objective lens better suited to a full-sized binocular. But the magnification range, zooming from 9x up to 27x, gives this little unit more range and a surprisingly nice image. And its ultra-compact size means you'll take this optic more places than a larger spotter or a big-bone binocular. The NatureTrek has some nice appointments, including the responsive center barrel focus and the comfortable eye cups. The 45-degree angled eyepiece is also a nice touch, as it allows for users to use it in a number of different stances. At lower powers, you can get by without a stabilizing tripod. But at magnifications above about 18, you're going to want to mount this, because the shakes introduced by your hands, or an improvised support, blur the image. Hunters who want a mini optic to pack into the high country, or travelers who want a little more reach than a smaller binocular should consider this little spotting scope. Number 1. Maven CS.1A15-45x65. Maven applied the Goldilocks rule to this versatile spotter. It's positioned just right between the company's big, bright, and spendy S.1 series and its big bone B.5 binoculars, which sport 56mm objective lenses and magnifications from 10 to 18 power. The CS.1 is built around the same mid-level class of glass that Maven uses in its C series binoculars. That glass is good, but it's not quite as bright and sharp as that Japanese S-series glass. What the CS.1 delivers, though, is rugged performance. The 65mm size is just about right for most backpack pockets, and it pairs nicely with mid-sized tripods. Its glass is protected by double-walled armor that resists scratching. That makes a great combination for hardscrabble backcountry hunters who don't want to sacrifice optical performance, knowing that seeing long distances can save them many miles and thousands of feet of elevation in their boots. The Maven has especially good manners. Its eye cup turns as though on ball bearings, and instead of locking into predetermined detents, it is infinitely adjustable. The mid-barrel focus wheel is tight and precise. And the rubber armor is as grippy as it is protective. If we have a ding, it's the tripod foot, which seems slightly undersized for the frame. Optically, it's a solid performer, but its image is like the rest of the spotter, sort of middling. The CS.1 won our low-light test, beating a handful of 80 and 85mm scopes, which is a testament to its good quality glass. But you won't be tempted to compare the image delivered by the Maven to that of a Swarovski or Leica. And you might be a little disappointed at how dark and grainy it gets above about 38 power. The Maven's eyepiece is fixed, which means you won't be able to swap out eyepieces for different magnifications. The upside, it's especially weather and moisture proof. The downside, you're stuck with the 15-45 power zoom. All in, there's a lot of scope here for $800, a price that represents the savings possible from the direct-to-consumer optics brand.